Germany is betting big on India. In fact, it is looking at India as a better alternative to reduce its over-dependence on China. Now, speaking at the event where Scholz came to India, PM Modi of India highlighted the 4 Ds that define India's growth story: democracy, demography, demand, and data. He emphasized the role of technology in India's future, adding that AI, or artificial intelligence, stands not only for artificial intelligence, but also for an aspirational India, reflecting the country's ambition and potential.
जब देश का सामान्य नागरिक ये सोच रहा है, तब आप जैसे बिजनेस के लिए, आप जैसे इन्वेस्टर्स के लिए भारत से बेहतर स्थान क्या हो सकता है। साथियों, आज भारत डेमोक्रेसी, डेमोग्राफी, डिमांड और डेटा, इसके 4 मजबूत पिलर्स पर खड़ा है। टैलेंट, टेक्नोलॉजी, इनोवेशन और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर भारत की ग्रोथ के टूल्स हैं। इन सभी को ड्राइव करने वाली एक और बड़ी ताकत आज भारत में है। ये ताकत है एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया, यानी एआई, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और एआई एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया की डबल ताकत भारत के पास है। और एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया को हमारा यूथ ड्राइव कर रहा है। बीती सदी में डेवलपमेंट को मुख्यतः नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज ने गति दी थी। 21st सेंचुरी को ह्यूमन रिसोर्स और ह्यूमन इनोवेशंस गति देने वाले हैं। इसलिए भारत अपने यूथ की स्किल्स और टेक्नोलॉजी के डेमोक्रेटाइजेशन पर बहुत फोकस कर रहा है। साथियों, भारत भविष्य की दुनिया की जरूरतों के लिए आज काम कर रहा है। हमारा मिशन एआई हो, हमारा सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन हो, मिशन क्वांटम हो, मिशन ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन हो, स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी से जुड़े मिशन हो, डिजिटल इंडिया का मिशन हो, इन सभी का लक्ष्य दुनिया के लिए बेहतरीन और विश्वसनीय समाधान देना है।
Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz, meanwhile, expressed optimism about the free trade agreement between India and the European Union, saying that it could be finalized in months rather than years. He also emphasized that Germany is actively welcoming skilled workers from India, reinforcing the country's commitment to attracting global talent.
We very much welcome the European Commission's finally resuming free trade negotiations with the Philippines and Thailand, and it is working towards resuming talks with Malaysia. We want to see the ongoing negotiations between the EU and Indonesia finalized and the negotiations between the EU and Australia resumed as soon as possible. And of course, we want a free trade agreement between the EU and India. My government is pushing for swift progress and rapid conclusions, and I'm sure that if we work on together on this, Prime Minister, this could happen in months rather than years. Only a few days ago, the German government agreed on a strategy to attract skilled Indian employees to Germany. Even today, Indians are the largest group of foreign students at our universities. Last year alone, the number of Indians working in Germany grew by 23,000. Their talent is a welcome addition to our labor market. And let me add, we don't just welcome talent from India to work in Germany, but from all of your countries. To make this happen, we passed one of the world's most progressive laws for labor immigration. We are digitizing our visa process, speeding up procedures and making them more user-friendly. At the same time, we are reducing irregular migration and facilitating returns of those who have no right to be in our country. The message is that Germany is open for skilled workers but that we can decide who comes. This is important because only then will our citizens continue to accept our openness. This brings me back to the beginning of my remarks and the three winners of the Nobel Prize. One of the key lessons of their work is that open societies are more likely to prosper. We need to maintain the spirit of openness in our countries and in today's world. So let us be the ones that spread it.
Now, India's Minister for Commerce Piyush Goyal spoke on climate change and reaffirmed India's commitment made at the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP21 in 2015. He noted that India, alongside the Global South, has collaborated with developed countries to find solutions.
India, for example, sporting 17% of the world population, has only contributed 2.5% to the problem up there. Despite that, we wish to be a part of the solution collectively with the rest of the world. And this is evident from our ranking in the Climate Change Performance Index. I was just Googling to make sure my numbers are right. 2022, we were ranked 10th in the global index in climate change performance. 23, we were ranked 8th. 2024, we are ranked 7th. And we are well on track, not only to meet our nationally determined contributions, but to exceed the targets we have set before ourselves, which we have set before the world. We are operating at a scale that very few countries can match. Together, we can combine your precision and our large scale to create something truly extraordinary, not just for our nations, but for the world. It would be a delicious duo of our masala chai and your pretzels.
Meanwhile, Germany's Vice Chancellor and Economy Minister Robert Habeck addressed the growing skepticism and geopolitical tensions, emphasizing the need for Germany to diversify its trade relations.
We only need to think of the war of aggression waged by Russia on Ukraine in violation of international law. The return of hard geopolitics has also given rise to increasing economic fragmentation. And then there's the drastic impact of climate change that is making itself felt more and more prominently, especially also here in this region with high, scaring temperatures over the summer. And let me remind you for once, climate change is not a threat to the climate. It's a threat and a danger for us, for the people. These are enormous challenges in this time. The important question is now, how do we respond? And the answer to this very complex situation is made up of several parts. But there's one continuous thread to this: together. So I would say there's one message out of this APK, apart from all the concrete discussions we're going to have today on this panel. Borders are no boundaries, and borders are no barriers. As we face the challenges I have outlined together, we must and will respond together.
News9's executive editor Karthik Malhotra was at that event, and he spoke exclusively to Chief Executive of Foreign Trade German Chambers of Commerce abroad, Dr. Volker Therier, and Bharat Forge Chairman Baba Kalyani. Let's listen in to what they had to say.
Mr. Therier, thank you so much. Wonderful having you in India and lovely talking to you. I want to understand from you, we just heard Chancellor Scholz say that if India and Germany work together, then the FTA between European Union and India could be a matter of months and not years. Is that even possible?
I mean, I don't disagree with our Chancellor. We would be delighted, and this would really a great support for Indo-German business relations, that FTA. We are really desperately waiting for that. But honestly, I guess it's even more years than months, but let's wait and see and keep all fingers crossed that the policymakers can make it, but they have to do it not in Berlin, not in our government. They have to do it in Brussels and then sign it in all the capitals as well as in Berlin, but also in France, for instance. And they're not always in favor of free trade agreements.
So what exactly is holding us back? While the intent is there and that intent is visible, we've heard both Prime Minister Modi and Chancellor Scholz really pushing, and all the other ministers and dignitaries who were there today. What is really holding it back? What are the key issues for the FTA preventing it from going through?
I guess the window for ratification, first for negotiating and ratification, is wide open. We are really like-minded economic regions. India is a country, European Union and single market is an economic region. Right now, geopolitical tensions really urges us to conclude such an agreement. So it's about mutual market access. I guess both sides know that they can create a win-win situation for their own, but as well as for the partner, and this is the best precondition for such an agreement. Maybe one obstacle could be how deep and restrictive some goals, what we share is written down in a sustainability chapter, and in the nearer past, when it could have come to other free trade agreements, Europe was a bit too restrictive on that, and I could imagine this could be a point of obstacle. I don't hope, because the chances and opportunities are much greater than only this when it would come by violation of goals written down in such a sustainability chapter, to fines or something, sanctions to one or the other side. And this shouldn't be a restriction, because the opportunities, they do lie in mutual trade and mutual investments.
I do have the pleasure of being joined right here by the chairman of Bharat Forge, Mr. Baba Kalyani. Mr. Kalyani, good morning, and thank you very much for being here on News9. I want to understand from you, you're big on manufacturing and you're big on defense manufacturing, but Germany wants us to buy more of their arms. How's this going to play out?
Well, I don't think that's really what they want. I think, I'm in Germany for the last 22 years. I have almost 5 manufacturing plants there, employing about 2,000 people, Germans, in there. So I'm quite integrated in Germany in the manufacturing sector, largely supplying to the automotive companies in Germany. Automotive is the biggest manufacturing driver or engine, let's say, in Germany. As far as defense is concerned, Germany has had a lot of restrictions in terms of exporting defense. They have a system called BAFA, which requires very high-level clearances from the government, and many items in the defense which India wanted, let's say, they are unable to export. So it's the other way around. And of course, right now, Germany is facing a lot of shortage of labor, manpower, all those issues, and I think you'll see some of them being discussed in today's deliberation. But yeah, for me, Germany is second home. We have our largest investment outside India in Germany.